Hello, konnichiwa, yoroshiku onegai shimasu. All right, so I done redid this video like several times, but this is today I'm gonna be talking about the cons to living in Japan as an ALT. All right, so getting into it, the first con is that it's lonely in the countryside. So if you come to Japan as an ALT, it's a lot of people that want the big cities like Sendai, Tokyo, Osaka, and I think it's on a like a first come first served basis. So if they've been here or seniority, if they've been here longer, they get the pick and stuff. And the new people coming in, they likely will be in the countryside. And in the countryside, like it's not like when you think of Japan, you always they show images of Tokyo, Osaka, Kobe, like places like that, or maybe Sendai sometimes. Sendai is like the most popular city in to me, it's the most popular city in Tohoku or northern Japan. I'm like an hour away from Fukushima. I'm an hour away from Sendai, but I'm mostly I hit up Sendai. So, but I'm not in Sendai. I'm not teaching at any schools in Sendai. I'm in the countryside in Fukushima Prefecture. So it's likely you'll be in the countryside, but and some people have it better than others. Like myself, the town that I live in is not that small. But there's some people that are in like the middle of nowhere, a small little town, like maybe population 2 or something. Well, not that small, but some people are in like smaller places than that, and it's like nowhere to go, or you have to take a train or get on the Shinkansen or a Jobin line to go to a major city where everything is popping at, and then you likely gonna have to get a hotel because I think the trains in Japan stop running at 11 o'clock or 11 p.m. So you definitely going to need to get a hotel if you want to really stay all night, depending on what you want to do there. But me, I like to stay the whole weekend. So that's like you'll pay around about plus or minus like 10,000 yen, which is like $60. So and then again, you don't make that much. So yeah, it's lonely in the countryside, man. I mean, I'm around some ALTs, but there's other people in like the towns like population 2 where it's no other ALTs around. So you in another country, uh, Japanese language is hard, and you really don't know nobody. So I'm just letting you know that's one con to living in Japan as an ALT. The second con to living in Japan as an ALT is of course I'm not saying nothing bad about Japan, but I'm just saying everywhere you go, they're gonna have um like an ambassador image, like an image that they want you to see, and then it's the reality, So you have the perception and then reality. So the perception of Japan, excuse me, the perception of Japan is that it's some futuristic country and stuff like Star Wars or Star Trek, where you got anime characters walking around and Gundam and elevators that move sideways and all, flying cars and all that stuff. Japan is not that futuristic. You ain't gonna have a Gundam serving you ramen or nothing. Um, and they still use fax machines here, and that's because I think the old people, there's a lot of old people in Japan, and the old people still like to do things their way. And Japan is a society that's controlled by the men and mostly old men. So I think the term for that is a gerontocracy. So that's Japan. It's not as futuristic as you think, man. You're gonna see some things that's gonna be like, man, it definitely didn't look like that on the internet. The third con to living in Japan as ALT is I kind of spoke on it a little bit, but low pay. Okay, unless you go through the JET program, you're gonna probably come here through a dispatch company, and you're gonna get paid like 100,000 yen less. So you're gonna make like 200,000 yen, and that could work out here in Japan. It's not that expensive to live out here. I mean, it's not outrageous like the United States. But at the same time, you got to think about your bills and stuff. So you paying about 50,000 yen for rent, all right? And I'm pretty sure there's some renter insurance in there or whatever. And then like I have a car, so the car is about I think 30,000 or something, or 40,000, and then your cell phone. I got my cell phone through the company and stuff. Like I really don't. This is a Japanese phone, like a cheap little Japanese phone, but I have my other phone that I brought from the United States, but I wasn't sure if the SIM card would work over here. But I should have just went with the SIM card, because you could have an option. You can either get a SIM card or you get just another phone. I don't want to take a chance, because you have to have a Japanese phone number to open a bank account. You're gonna have to open up a bank account so that when they pay you, it's direct deposit into your Japanese bank account, and then from there you can move it to Wise. You can move it to your Wise account. All right. So yeah, the pay here is pretty low. So you're only walking away with after you pay, for the rent, and then if you have, because if you're in a rural area, you might have to drive. Or ride a bike. But sometimes, you get cold, and I was thankful that I could just get in my car and turn on the heater and stuff, and I could just drive and go to the grocery store and get what I need to do, or get what I need to get. I mean, but at the same time, you're paying like 50,000 yen for that, and your cell phone is it comes up to 50,000 yen, so that's 100,000 yen gone, right? And then after you hear a year, you have to pay 20,000 yen for taxes, so you're only walking away with about 80,000 yen. And then you got other bills you have to pay too. Like I think the water, the gas, and it's not outrageous, but it's still it does eat up some of your play money. So I'm just letting you know the pay is not great, but if you come here as a jet, you get paid 300,000 yen, and not only you get paid 300,000 yen, you get bonuses. From what I heard, you do your own research, but you get bonuses at the end of the year because the Japanese teachers get bonuses. So with the ALT, you work for the dispatch company, right? But through the jet program, you get a 5-year visa and you work for the school board, so you get like teacher pay. You know what I'm saying? And you get the of course, the bonuses at the end of the year, from what I heard, and the rent. I think it's a person out here that's their rent is only like 20,000 yen. And if you paying like if it's a person paying 50,000 yen, they got a really the apartments are really small. So if you paying like 50,000 yen, you got something pretty big, like maybe a 2-bedroom or something like that. So this person making 300,000 yen, a little more than that actually, and they only paying 20,000 yen for rent. And if they get a car, that's probably another 20,000 yen. So they're paying 40,000 yen total for rent and for their rental car. It probably come up to 50,000 total, but 50,000 from 300,000 yen, that's you still got 250,000 yen to play with. You don't even have to stay in Japan. You can just take a flight to another country if you want, or you can definitely afford hotels and stuff like that, or Airbnb and stuff, and stay in the city overnight. Or if you got a 3-day weekend, you can stay there all 3 days, or take trips to Tokyo on the Shinkansen and stuff like that. So if you do come here to teach English, go through the JET program. That's basically the moral of the story right there. Okay, so the fourth con to living in Japan is I think it's little economic mobility. I think everybody in Japan uh, makes roughly between 300,000 yen and 500,000 yen. Even if it's somebody that's like a doctor, they ain't like getting paid all outrageous like what you would see in the United States, like doctors making like 400,000. I don't think it's like that. Again, do your own research. But everybody Japan is a very middle class country. Everybody kind of make the same. If you got a career, you're going to pretty much between 300 and 500,000 yen. As far as I know, I could be like wrong. Do your own research, but you're not pretty much going to go beyond that unless you inherit something. And Japan is like, from what I didn't observe, what I learned, Japan really doesn't want foreigners to come here and blow up like that. I mean, you can, but they're not going to make it easy for you. You know what I mean? Especially outside of Tokyo. Uh, but again, do your own research, and I'm just telling you my perspective right here. So, but at the same time, I'm still not like talking bad about Japan. There's a lot of good things out here too. Another thing is if you do get a career job out here, I'm talking about an ALT. So okay, the cons to living in Japan as an ALT. So what is this? This is number 5. Okay, the fifth con to living in Japan as an ALT is the work culture. Now they're not gonna work you like that. You're gonna work from like 8-9 hours maybe, because your lunch break. But Japanese people, the Japanese teachers, they work from 7 in the morning till 7 at night, because after the school is over, they have club activities. So if you're a teacher in a Japanese school, you're going to be assigned to a club. Um, and sometimes I stay a little over just to help out the English club. But yeah, they got club activities. So Japanese people, man, they doing like 12 hours. And I don't know how it is for the kaishin or Japanese office workers. I don't know what they schedule, but they be getting up pretty late too, man. So, I mean, I think in Japan they trying to change that, but I don't know, but I understand the work culture. Even if you get like a job as a kaishin or some type of professional job here, you probably gonna be working long hours. Maybe they won't break you off like that when you first get here, but it could be coming. But I think they're trying to change that and stuff because of the birth rate and all that.